Let's get right into it. Number 8. The pain of losing. Imagine two scenarios. In the first, you find a $20 bill on the street. You feel a nice little jolt of happiness. Cool. In the second scenario, you reach into your pocket and realize a $20 bill that was there is now gone. The feeling isn't just a little jolt of sadness. It's a gut-wrenching day, ruining sense of violation. Why does losing 20 bucks feel so much worse than the pleasure of finding the same amount? This isn't you being dramatic. It's a fundamental flaw in your brain's operating system called loss aversion. Scientists have found that, psychologically, the pain of a loss is roughly twice as powerful as the pleasure of an equivalent gain. Your brain is wired for survival, and from an evolutionary standpoint, losing a resource like food or shelter was a much bigger threat to your existence than the benefit of gaining an extra one. That ancient programming is still running the show. It's why you'll hold on to a losing stock way too long, hoping it will recover, because selling it would mean making the loss a real. It's why you'll refuse to throw out clothes you haven't worn in a decade. You're avoiding the pain of losing the option to wear them. This brain flaw makes you irrationally cautious and resistant to change, keeping you stuck in bad situations simply because the pain of leaving feels more potent than the potential joy of moving on. Your brain isn't trying to make you happy. It's just desperately trying not to lose. Number 7. The invisible audience. You're walking through a crowded mall and you trip over your own feet. You scramble up, your face burning with shame, absolutely convinced that every single person in a 100-foot radius stopped, pointed, and is now laughing at you. You spend the rest of the day replaying the moment in your head, cringing with embarrassment. The reality? Well, almost nobody noticed. And the few who did forgot about it 0.5 seconds later, because they were too busy worrying about their own lives. This feeling of being the center of everyone's attention is called the spotlight effect. It's our tendency to vastly overestimate how much other people notice our appearance or behavior. We are the center of our own universe, so we mistakenly assume we are also the center of everyone else's. Your brain is a natural-born narcissist. It lives your life in the first person, so it projects that main character energy onto the world, assuming you have a constant audience analyzing your every move. In reality, everyone else is also the main character of their own movie, and you are, at best, a blurry extra in the background of their shot. Psychologists have tested this by having students wear embarrassing t-shirts to class. The students predicted that at least half their classmates would notice and remember the shirt. In reality, less than a quarter of them did. This is both a humbling and a liberating realization. No one is paying as much attention to you as you think they are. They're not noticing your bad hair day, the stain on your shirt, or the awkward thing you said in a meeting. They're too busy worrying about their own imaginary spotlight. Number 6. The pretty person perk. You meet someone who is exceptionally attractive. You find yourself automatically assuming they are also smarter, funnier, and kinder than the average person. You just trust them more for no logical reason. Or a celebrity you like endorses a product you know nothing about, and you suddenly think, well, if they like it, it must be good. This is the halo effect in action. It's a cognitive bias where our overall impression of a person, often based on a single positive trait like physical attractiveness, influences our feelings and thoughts about their other characteristics. Your brain is lazy. It doesn't want to do the hard work of evaluating someone based on multiple complex traits. Instead, it takes a shortcut. It finds one easily identifiable positive quality and lets that halo shine over everything else, creating a generalized and often wildly inaccurate positive perception. This is why politicians spend millions on looking confident and trustworthy on camera, and why brands pay celebrities fortunes to hold up a can of soda. They know that the positive feelings you have for that person will spill over onto their product or platform. It works in reverse too with the horn effect, where one negative trait can make you assume everything else about a person is also bad. The halo effect is your brain's tendency to judge a book by its very shiny, very misleading cover. Number 5. The big red button. Your friend tells you, whatever you do, don't press that big red shiny button. What is the first thing you want to do? You want to press the button. You want to press it with every fiber of your being. You weren't even thinking about the button 2 seconds ago, but now it has become the sole focus of your entire existence. This irrational, defiant urge to do the opposite of what you're being told is a psychological phenomenon called reactance. It's a cognitive loophole triggered when you feel that your freedom of choice is being threatened. Your brain interprets the command, "Don't do that," as an attack on your autonomy. In response, it generates a powerful motivation to reassert your freedom by doing the exact thing you were forbidden from doing. It's not about logic. It's about control. This is why telling a teenager not to date someone often makes that person infinitely more attractive. It's why bonded books suddenly fly off the shelves. The restriction itself creates the desire. This isn't just you being difficult, it's a deep-seated defense mechanism. Your brain is essentially a rebellious toddler who hates being told what to do. The moment it senses a loss of freedom, it throws a tantrum by wanting the forbidden fruit. Marketers use this against you with phrases like a limited time only or a don't miss out. They are artificially creating a threat to your freedom to choose later, triggering your reactance and making you want to buy it now. It's a psychological judo flip where your own desire to be free is used to trap you. Number 4. The quicksand of yesterday. You're 2 hours into a terrible movie. The plot is nonsensical, the acting is atrocious, and you're profoundly bored. But you think to yourself, oh well, I've already watched this much of it, I might as well see how it ends. You're in a relationship that has been making you miserable for years, but you think, we've been together for so long, I can't just throw all that time away. This is the sunk cost fallacy. It's our irrational tendency to continue with an endeavor because we have already invested time, money, or effort into it, even when it's clear that cutting our losses would be the better option. Your brain hates the feeling of loss. The time and energy you've already spent, the sunk costs, are gone forever. You can't get them back. But instead of accepting this, your brain tricks you into believing that if you just invest a little more time or effort, you can somehow justify the initial investment. It's like trying to win back gambling losses by betting more money. It's a losing strategy. A rational decision maker would base their choice on the future potential of the situation, not on the unrecoverable costs of the past. But our brains are not rational. They are emotional. They are driven by a powerful aversion to waste. So you stay in the bad job, finish the terrible book, and keep eating the disgusting meal you paid too much for, all because your brain can't accept that the resources you spent are already gone. It's a cognitive trap that keeps you shackled to your past mistakes. Number 3. The cosmic scoreboard. You hear about someone getting into a car accident, and a small dark part of your brain thinks, well, they were probably texting. You see someone lose their job, and you think, E must not have been a very good worker. This automatic tendency to believe that the world is fundamentally fair and that people get what they deserve is called the just world hypothesis. It's a cognitive bias that serves as a mental security blanket. The idea that random terrible things can happen to good, innocent people for no reason at all is existentially terrifying. It implies that the universe is chaotic and that you, a good person, are just as vulnerable. To protect itself from this horrifying thought, your brain invents a narrative of cosmic justice. It convinces itself that bad things only happen to bad people, and good things only happen to good people. This allows you to feel safe. If you're a good person who follows the rules, you'll be protected. This delusion is the foundation of victim blaming. It's easier to believe that someone who was robbed should have been more careful than to accept the reality that you could also be robbed at any moment. While it provides a sense of order and predictability, this bias makes us less empathetic and more judgmental. It's a convenient fiction your brain tells itself to make the terrifying randomness of life feel like a predictable, controllable video game where everyone ends up with the score they earned. Number 2. The loudest memory wins. Which are you more afraid of? Being killed by a shark or being killed by a falling coconut? Most people would say sharks without hesitation. Yet, statistically, you are far more likely to be killed by a falling coconut. So why the fear of sharks? Because of the availability heuristic. This is a mental shortcut where your brain judges the likelihood of an event based on how easily examples of it come to mind. You've seen movies like Jaws. You've seen dramatic news reports about shark attacks, complete with terrifying music and interviews with survivors. These images are vivid, emotional, and readily available in your memory. You've probably never seen a news report about a fatal coconut incident. Because shark attacks are more emotionally resonant and heavily publicized, your brain assumes they are more common than they actually are. This flaw affects your judgment in all sorts of ways. You might be more afraid of a plane crash than a car crash, even though driving is statistically far more dangerous, because plane crashes are huge, dramatic news events. You might think crime is rising because you see negative stories on the news every night, even if statistics show it's actually falling. Your brain isn't a statistician, it's a storyteller. It doesn't care about the data, it cares about the best, most memorable story. And a dramatic, easily recalled story will always feel more true than a boring, hard-to-find spreadsheet. Number 1. The biased courtroom. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Your immediate reaction: what a selfish, inconsiderate jerk. That person is a menace to society. The next day, you're running late, and you cut someone off in traffic. Your reaction: whoops, sorry. I'm in a huge hurry. I had a really stressful morning, and I'm not usually like this. This is the fundamental attribution error in action. It's our tendency to explain someone else's behavior based on their internal character, while explaining our own behavior based on external circumstances. When someone else messes up, we see it as a reflection of their personality. They're lazy, they're rude, they're incompetent. But when we mess up, we have a whole library of excuses ready to go. We were tired, we were stressed, the situation was complicated. We judge others by their actions, but we judge ourselves by our intentions. This happens because we have a complete picture of our own internal state. We know we're a good person who just had a bad moment. But for the other person, all we have is the single data point of them cutting us off. We don't see their stressful morning or their urgent appointment. We just see the action and make a sweeping judgment about their entire character. It's a cognitive shortcut that makes the world easier to understand, but it also makes us incredibly uncharitable and hypocritical. Your brain is essentially a biased courtroom where you are your own defense attorney, but for everyone else, you're the hanging judge. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.